why everything feels unreal lately, and what it means. She sat at the edge of her bed, staring at her hands like they belonged to someone else. The room was familiar, same walls, same light, but something felt hollow, like watching her life through glass. Have you ever felt that? That strange distance between you and everything you touch? It's not sadness, it's not even numbness, it's something quieter, more unsettling, like you're here but not really here. Present, but floating somewhere just outside your own skin. She thought maybe she was losing it, that something was breaking inside her mind. But what she didn't know yet, what most of us don't realize, is that this feeling has a name, and it's more common than we think. Psychologists call it derealization, a subtle disconnection from the world around you, where everything feels muted, distant, dreamlike, not quite real. And lately, it's everywhere. You scroll through your feed and nothing lands. You have conversations, but can't remember them an hour later. You look in the mirror and for a split second you don't recognize the person staring back. It's not dramatic. It's not a crisis. It's just this persistent, low-grade feeling that you're living in a simulation of your own life. So what's happening? Neuroscientists at Yale found something fascinating. When our brains are overstimulated, constantly switching between tasks, screens, notifications, rapid emotional shifts, they start to protect themselves. They create a buffer, an emotional distance between you and reality. It's not a malfunction, it's a defense mechanism. Your mind is trying to save you from drowning in too much input, too many pixels, too many voices, too many versions of yourself that you're supposed to maintain across different platforms, different people, different expectations. So it dims everything down just a little, just enough to keep you functional. But here's the cost. You stop feeling connected to your own life. She started noticing the small things first. The way coffee didn't taste like anything anymore. How music felt like background noise, even songs she used to love. Conversations that should have mattered just washed over her. When was the last time you felt fully present? Not performing presence, actually there. The scary part isn't the feeling itself. It's how normal it's become. How we've all quietly adapted to living in this strange in-between state. Not fully here, not fully anywhere. And we don't talk about it. Because how do you explain that everything feels like you're watching it happen to someone else? But then something shifted for her. Not all at once, not dramatically. It started the day her phone died during a walk. No music, no podcasts, no buffering wheel to fill the silence. Just her footsteps, the hum of distant traffic, the weight of her own thoughts, raw and unfiltered. And it terrified her. Because in that silence, she could feel everything she'd been avoiding. The grief she hadn't processed, the decisions she'd been delaying, the person she was becoming, and wasn't sure she recognized. Stillness, it turns out, is where derealization falls apart, because it can't survive in the presence of actual feeling. She sat on a bench in the park. No destination, no timer running, just the slow realization that she'd been running from her own mind for months, maybe years. Researchers at the Oxford Mindfulness Center discovered something profound. The brain doesn't just need rest, it needs the right kind of attention, what they call embodied awareness. The practice of feeling yourself exist in real time, not through a screen or a story or a curated version, just you, breathing, being. It sounds simple. It feels impossible at first. She tried it that night, put the phone in another room, didn't replace it with TV or music or anything else, just sat with herself. The first 10 minutes were unbearable. Her mind raced. Her hands twitched for something to hold, something to scroll. But slowly, something underneath the noise began to surface. A thought she'd been avoiding. A memory that needed attention. An emotion that wasn't numb anymore. It was sharp, real, insistent. And for the first time in weeks, she felt awake. Maybe the unreality we feel isn't about the world becoming fake. Maybe it's about us becoming unavailable to our own experience, too busy processing everyone else's life to live our own. When she looked at her reflection the next morning, something had changed. Not the face, the recognition. She was there again, not fully, not perfectly, but more than yesterday. What surprised me most wasn't just how a simple analog journal changed my routine, it was how I started feeling time again. Not the minutes rushing by, but the texture of moments. This isn't a recommendation, just something that reminded me what presence feels like. I'll leave the link below if you want to explore what I mean. Derealization isn't a flaw, it's a message. Your mind is telling you slow down, come back, stop performing your life and start inhabiting it. The world didn't become unreal. You just got too far away from yourself to feel it anymore. And the way back, it's quieter than you think. She still checks her phone, still gets pulled into the rush. But now when that glass-like feeling returns, that distance creeping back in, she knows what it means. It means she's drifting, and she knows how to anchor. One breath, one moment of just being here. No content, no consumption, no carefully composed version of herself. Just the raw, imperfect, unremarkable miracle of existing. When she unlocked her phone again days later, it wasn't the screen that felt different. It was her mind. The notifications were still there. The chaos hadn't changed, but she had. She could scroll and not disappear. She could engage and not lose herself, because she'd found the difference between being awake and being aware, between existing and actually living. The unreality we feel isn't a symptom of our world. It's a symptom of our distance from it. And maybe, just maybe, the cure isn't out there somewhere in a solution or a strategy. Maybe it's already here, in the breath you just took, in the weight of your body against the chair, in the sound of these words landing somewhere inside you that's been quiet too long. You're not broken. You're not losing your mind. You're just too far from home, and home is closer than you think. Tell us what moment hit you the hardest and where in the world you're watching from. See you in the next reflection. This content is educational and reflective in nature, not therapeutic or medical advice. If you're experiencing persistent feelings of disconnection or distress, please reach out to a mental health professional.